Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all of my wonderful and beautiful little subscribers out there. And I love you all so, and I hope that you're all super duper well, super duper wonderful, and super duper delicious, and that life is treating you most deliciously, okay? Now then, what's the time, Mr. Wolf? I've got to keep a handle on it. Okay, my delicious little babies. Oh, there's another little one there, look. Okay. The time is 12:30 in the afternoon in our old England, my delicious little babies, and it's a very grey sky. It has been peeing down all night, and it's still peeing down now, my delicious little babies. Okay. So I hope that wherever you are, that life is treating you most deliciously, and that you're having better weather than what we're having, my delicious little babies. Now then. 3, 2, 1, my juicy little lights. Thank you, little lights. You're delicious and bright. Yeah, they're all running out now. They're running out. My delicious little babies. Yes, they are. Now then, okay. So, what have I got to say to you, my delicious little babies? Yeah, they're still testing with the lights opposite my flat, my delicious little babies. Okay. We could say that they're testing other parts of the road, but it doesn't seem so, my delicious little babies. You know what I mean? It seems to be just my light for some reason, okay? But if they seem to think that they're going to dim my light, well, then they can rock on dummy, because it's not a happening. Okay, my delicious little babies. Now, the other day, I was uploading my video. It's my latest one, actually. And, I'm talking about talking on the video, my delicious little babies. And what time did I start uploading it? So I started to upload it at around 1:30 p.m. in the afternoon, my delicious little babies. And, the fact of the matter is, is that it's actually never uploaded until 3:30 the following morning, my delicious little babies. Now, again, I'm not too sure whether somebody can see my video quicker. I'm not sure about that, my delicious little babies, because I'm not tech savvy. You know what I mean? My delicious little babies, okay, I'll just upload it and, you just hope for the best, don't you? Okay, my delicious little babies, okay. Now, before this bloody damn flipping thing says install again, I've got to speed through my video, my delicious little babies. And I want to tell you something very quickly. So I uploaded two shorty videos. Now, I feel the need here because maybe whoever's seen these two shorty videos are just not getting it. Okay, so that's not being rude, disrespectful, or anything like that. Okay, so the first one I uploaded was to do with Dunelm Mills. Now, delicious little babies, okay? In our old England, they've also got one in Ireland. I'm pretty sure. I don't know. They may have one in Scotland. They may have one in Wales. I'm pretty sure. But they're just under different names. You know what I mean? My delicious little babies. So there was this bedding set. Now, it wasn't for myself personally. I actually purchased it as a gift for my beautiful, dear little neighbour and friend up the road, who happened to be so very kind enough to help me, and bless her beautiful, dear little soul. And she never wanted a penny. To help me with my washing machine, my delicious little babies, so that I could go and take my washing up, you know what I mean, until mine got repaired. Anyway, so my little baby's back rocking and rolling now. Anyway, so I wanted to get something, like practical, because I'm the type of woman there now then, I don't want to go around houses, just want to get to the point. Rather than buy somebody something that's going to be totally useless to them. We've all gone through that, my delicious little babies. I'm sure that everybody meant well, but everybody's had a gift that you take one look now, you smile sweetly, and then you say to yourself, what the effing hell am I going to do with that? Do you understand what I mean, my delicious little babies, okay? We've all been there at one time or another, my delicious little babies. Anyway, so I happened to see her the other day, and I said, you know what I'm going to do? I said, I'm going to get you like some bedding, like a duvet set, okay, and pillowcases. Anyway, So the only two who I would really ever choose would be Next or Dunelm Mills. Okay, my delicious babies. So anyway, um, so she explained what colour she wanted, which was natural. Okay, my delicious babies. So anyway, so that's that. So when it arrived, fast forward, I looked on the back. Well, I looked at the front, but I looked at the back, and of course at the back it said made in Pakistan. Okay, my delicious babies. Um, you see, ones need to. I've been talking about this. There we are, long time. Okay, my delicious babies. Okay, as I'm sure other uploaders have been talking about different things now. What's the point I'm making? Find me a shop, please and thank you. I beg anybody with the Lord of mercy. Please find me a shop where something is English made. Okay, my delicious babies. So this is not me being nasty. That doesn't mean yes. I am not being nasty with what I'm saying, my delicious little babies. And I understand that ones need to earn the change in different countries. Yes, I do. Okay, I really, really do. Especially when we look at our old England, and the state of affairs over here. Do you know what I mean? What's going on? But I was pointing out, and I was finding a tune. Okay, my delicious little babies. I was pointing out something very important, that you go to a shop in England and once again, it's not made in England. That's the point that I'm making, my delicious little babies, okay? So if anybody feels that I'm wrong for saying what I'm saying, then skip my effing channel because your services is just not required. Okay, so they charged me for this particular duvet cover and pillowcases 25, ka-ching, ching, ching. And bless her. But that's exactly the type of material that she wanted as well, which I never knew. So that was a beautiful and a bonus. And I did it, to say thank you. Do you understand what I mean? Okay, because I'm very thankful, and I bought her flowers and so forth. Do you understand what I mean? Previously. Anyway, so, and the song that I chose it very carefully. I never do anything for no reason. And it was chicken, banana, chicken, banana. So why did I choose that song? So if you look in, oh, bless them, in Dear Africa, okay, and everything what's been done to those over the years, okay, my delicious little babies, okay, not to mention that, we could say that we've been living in a banana republic, Nana Republic, okay, my delicious little babies. But look at the chicken. So if you look at a chicken, there's a lot, isn't there? Okay, so it's not being nasty. I'm just done saying it the way it is. This is how my noddle was operating. So you got lots of chicken, isn't it? Okay, and they can run around, or they could be, so very sadly, stuck in a factory. What do they call them? Battery chickens. Okay, my delicious babies, okay? But when your time is done, and they're ready to, let's just say, dispose. It's, I do not mean this in literal terms. It's a figure of speech. I do not mean this literally. It's like a cutthroat business, isn't it? Okay. So I was looking at it from many, there we are, different angles and ways before I uploaded that shorty video. Okay. So that's to explain that. Okay. But when you look at it, look how these now then use other countries. Do you see what I'm saying? Yes. So you get a lot of chicken, you get a lot of banana. Okay, because they're stealing the resources, but they're stealing the resources from somebody who's whole. Okay, you have to, for ones who have any form of an interest in what I'm saying, you have to try to follow, there we are, how my noddle operates and works. Okay, now the second one that I uploaded, well, there happens to be a little pussycat who comes of an evening, okay? Sometimes I'll put a bat to eat out, and then other times I do not, okay? I do not know she's from up the road somewhere, or he's from up the road somewhere, okay? Anyway, beautiful looking little pussycat. It's not Chin, it's another one. And anyway, uh, so usually I put some little biscuits, little go cat biscuits on a little plate on the wall, then the little baby will come and have some, when I put some out. And the song that I chose for it, now, you see, I look at the patterns quite often, whether it's my beautiful little Maisie Moo who makes a pattern when she's been eating her little pussycat food, or our beautiful little Chin up the road who pops in to come and say hello sometimes, and she'll, like with the little biscuits, and she'll make little patterns. But this little baby, this beautiful little baby, made a pattern. So I thought, I'm going to bring that in, and I carried it really carefully, and then I took a shorty video of it. Now, if you look really, really closely, you see, I can see these things. Like I've said this numerous times. I can look at bricks, I can look at walls, I can look at, and I can see faces, bird races. Okay, my delicious little babies. It's just something I've been able to do for decades, whatever o'clock. Do you understand what I mean? Okay, I do not even have to focus. Let's just say very much. I don't even have to focus. It's just like looking in my camera, my delicious little babies. I could just look at something. I could just see a bird race. Just like that. Just like that. Do you remember that comedian, my delicious little babies, anyway? So, what did I see? What did I see? So I've seen, it's very clear, but really nobody pays, there we are, any attention to see what I'm saying and what I'm doing my best to get across. For a start off, we could say there was 4 little biscuits, and that was looking like a butterfly. Where do we see the butterflies, my delicious little babies? Okay, yes. We could also say that there are 4 major players here. That doesn't mean my delicious little babies, do you know what I mean? Okay. Some can spot them, others. Sorry, excuse me, frog in my throat. Maybe there's other things going on in France now. And very sadly, some cannot, so some can and some cannot. And then if you look at one side where all the little bickies are, you'll see that's all covering one part. Then you'll look at other parts which are smaller. Okay, my delicious little babies, it's a bit like looking at a map. There we are. Okay, my delicious little babies. And then if you really turn the picture, which I did, I was turning the plate slowly. But the very first thing that I saw when I looked at the plate was the butterfly, and it looked like a face. Okay, not like a face like my bird race or your face. Do you understand what I mean? But it's like a face, but it's a case of working it out. Now, I was looking for a tune to put to it. Okay, my delicious little babies, and the one that I found was, what is it? Something. Oh, anyway, you need to listen to the tune, my delicious little babies. I do not actually ever feel, I probably listened to that song once if I was out and about. It's not a song that do you understand what I mean? Ever. Okay. But what was in those words? California. Welcome to the Hotel California. Such a lovely place. Such a lovely place. Okay. There's a method, there we are, to everything that I'm doing. Okay, it's just that my videos do not get out, and even if they do get out, still it appears to myself that the ones are just not getting what I'm saying. Okay, so maybe this is something, there we are, that we shall have to work on. Okay, my delicious little babies, anyway. And by the way, I'm not being sarcastic when I'm saying it. That is, there we are, myself being genuine. It's learning, there we are, to look for things. Okay, my delicious little babies, okay, what you can spot. It's a bit like somebody who reads the tea leaves. Okay, so you imagine that somebody reads the tea leaves. So if they read the tea leaves, they can see things. Now I uploaded another shorty video when I went out to go into a house. Sorry, rewind and start again. When I went out to go and do a house cleansing months ago, my delicious little babies, okay. Oh, what a beautiful dear lady, bless her. And I could clearly see in my bowl with my sage, okay, I could clearly see a woman's birth dress. I could see her face. It was as clear as day. I showed the beautiful dear lady whose home it was, whose house it was, and I said, can you see the face? She said, oh yes, I can see it. See what I'm saying? So if it's pointed out, there we are, you can see it. Okay, my delicious little babies, this is what, there we are, I'm all about. Okay, so let's call it training. Okay, my delicious little babies, now then, so let's go on to the first video of today. And like I say, I've got to be quick in case it wants to flip install, and it chooses its time. There we are, it chooses its time when it wants to do it, my delicious little babies. Do you see what I'm saying with my dog and Burn Samsung? You know what I mean? Anyway, so right, the first one, my delicious little babies. Now, by the way, this never came up on my feed. This is me looking for the videos, okay? This uploader happens to have 12.1 thousand subscribers, my delicious little babies, okay? And they're all on YouTube, by the way, my delicious little babies, sorry. And the uploader is called, and with anybody not in that way, capital T, the, then space, capital S, side, then of, space of, then capital L, life, then space, then this is all in little writing, with, and then space, dicola. So I'm going to spell that for you, my delicious little babies, okay? Capital D, I-E, K-O-L-A. Okay, my delicious little babies, dicola. Okay, so it's not a C, it's a K. Now, this is just over 10 minutes long, my delicious little babies, and the video should read, sorry, never needed to stumble here to do this video. Many countries are kicking our immigrants out in 2026. What African immigrants should do now. Okay, my delicious little babies doesn't mean no, just got an itch. I'll just repeat this again for you, shall I? Many countries are kicking out our immigrants in 2026. What African immigrants should do now. Yes, now I'm going to say this now, and I looked at a few of the comments, not many, my delicious little babies, and I'm going to be honest with you. Well, yeah. For mankind who was commenting, well, they found it refreshing, sorry, excuse me, to hear this woman talking, bless her, okay? And what she's talking about is, and I listened to the video and I thought, you know what, ding, ding, dong, dong, yes, complete common sense, there we are, what this dear woman was talking, okay? And one of the things that she was saying is that if ones want to, leave their country, by the way, she also mentioned that ones who live in their own countries can do, words to effect, not the exact words, but wonderful things. There we are, in their own countries, there we are. I totally agree. But it takes a team, there we are, a team effort to do this, my delicious little babies, okay? So everything she was saying now, I totally got her. So bless her dear little soul. There we are. Bless your dear little soul. Okay? Now, for the majority of videos, like I say, will just be one-offs, okay, my delicious little babies? But well worth a listen. She also said that if anybody is wanting to go to a different country, that they must spare a thought, words to effect. They must spare a thought on the reasons why they want to go to a different country, okay? And she also mentioned about not to do it illegally, Okay, my delicious babies, but it's a really good little, there we are, video to take a listen to. I haven't listened to any more of her videos, only this one, so I just must make that, there we are, um, very plain and clear. Okay, my delicious babies, but well worth a little listen to that video, okay? She talks sense, and, you know, she says a lot of things now that there's a certain way she puts it across. Okay, it's all common sense. I would have ding ding dong dong. There we are. Said exactly the same thing myself now. Then, okay, my delicious babies, and she's well worth a little listen. Now the next one, my delicious babies. This one here, I've just finished listening to actually, and this uploader happens to have 14.5 thousand subscribers, my delicious little babies, and it's called, and now that doesn't mean no. Now the alternative media, you will know all of these uploaders, my delicious little babies. Okay, so you will know. I'm talking to some of our little beauties out there who do not know who our dear uploaders are. Okay, now one of the dear uploaders on this, it's called capital B. That's the uploader now. Bet with a double T. And then capital B, beat, B-E-A-T, okay? I just spelt it, sorry, okay? Because beat, you could spell it, do you know what I mean? B-E-E-T, do you understand what I mean? So it's bet, beat, that's together, two words together, space, capital M, media. So one of the dear up the loaders, and I happen to like, is called, not in that way, not in that way, you know, clearly, is called Vanessa Beeley, who I usually see actually, bless her, on our lovely, not in that way, not in that way, our lovely UK Space Column Space News on YouTube, my delicious babies. I think they have 25.2 thousand subscribers now, my delicious babies. That's where I usually see Vanessa, bless her, okay? And I like Vanessa because, you know, she's a pretty, she's clearly a very, you know, serious type of woman now then. But what I will say is, though, you can see she's got a very, behind it, there we are, a good banging personality. There we are. I can see that with her. Do you understand what I mean? Okay. But I've listened to a wonderful conversation with herself and the old, oh gosh, what is it? The American Vagabond, and who's the other man? Oh, I forgot now. I've never seen him before, actually. But anyway, the three of them, and it was a really banging conversation. Just over an hour long, my delicious little babies, okay, and it's really well worth a listen, okay, and it's talking about, for anybody who happens to have any interest what's going on in the world right now, okay, my delicious little babies, but it's really well worth a listen. I really enjoyed that conversation, okay? I'm just into all this type of thing, my delicious little babies, do you know what I mean, okay? If somebody says to myself, oh, you know, do you want to come window shopping all day, or do you want to do something? No, I'm not interested in that at all. It's not for myself. Even if I go shopping, my delicious little babies, I really, usually, I'm in, get what I got to get, there we are, and straight back out. I'm just that type of woman, my delicious little babies, you know what I mean? I cannot stand dawdling. My dad used to say, "Car, stop dawdling." Do you understand what I mean, my delicious little babies, Kai? So I've always been the same. But I've got zero interest in talking about clothes, makeup, perfumes. I've got zero interest. Shoes, bags, no. I'm not interested in any of that. Okay, my delicious little babies, I want to know, there we are, what's going on in the world. And, oh, me little Daisy's come, me little squirrel. She's looking straight at me. Okay, my delicious little babies, and I want to listen to what's going on. I do get distracted sometimes, my delicious little babies. What's going on in the world? And I also want to know, at the end of the day, to do with different countries, what the situation is there, because 9 times out of 10, it'd be coming to our flipping country. There we are. Do you know what I mean? My delicious little babies, okay? So that's what I happen to find interesting, okay? Sorry, excuse me. It's trouble clearing my throat today, my delicious little babies. Now then, so the next one, my delicious little babies, where do I go? Decisions. Oh yes, this upload of my delicious little babies. Now again, none of these came up on my feed so far. What I'm saying to you, my delicious little babies, okay? This uploader is called Capital T Tanks. Okay, so I'm going to spell that for you. TAN for November, K, and then Z for zebra. My delicious little babies. Tanks. Okay, my delicious little babies. This upload happens to have 174,000 subscribers. Now, this video. Hold on, we've got to see which ones have been mentioned now. Yes, so just mentioned over now, yeah. Many countries that have 10 minutes. No, because I'm just letting you know how many minutes my delicious little baby. Sorry. This video should read: the UK government, yeah, them again, sold student debt to private companies. How they profit off your misery. Yes, my delicious little babies, I'm just going to repeat that again for you, shall I? The UK government sold student debt to private companies. How they profit off your misery. Yes, my delicious little babies. Well worth a little listen. I think this is it nearly 20 minutes long, this one? Is it about 15? I think it's about between 15 and 20 minutes long. Okay, my delicious little babies, because I listened to this yesterday. I'm sure I did yesterday. I listened to this one. Okay, my delicious little babies. But yes, so he breaks it all down. Okay, my delicious little babies. For ones who are into this, okay, you know, the academics and everything, you know, who follow to do with university, you know, and all that, then, my delicious little babies, they will probably already know this. This is for anybody, my delicious little babies, who does not know this, okay? I mean, because if you look at it, I mean, look how expensive it is to go to university. Look how expensive it is, my delicious little babies. And then, bless them, when they come out of university, 9 times out of 10, this has gone on for decades. I haven't heard about this, there we are, for decades, okay? They come out of uni and then they cannot get a job. Okay, so I asked decades ago, well, what's all that about? You know, you go to uni, surely you should be able to get something at the end of it, you know, other than your qualifications. You know what I mean? But many struggle to find work. And I've known, there we are, in my decades, quite a few, my delicious little babies, who struggle just to find, you know, in their line of work that they'd qualified for. Okay, my delicious little babies. So anyway, this is well worth a little listen to this video for anybody who's not aware of it. Okay, but for those poor dear souls, they're then spending years and years. There we are, paying off the debt, unless, you know, you come from a super rich family or something, you know what I mean, my delicious little babies. Well, for everybody else, so the normal folk out here, you know what I mean, they spend out the wages, you know, paying back loans and whatever else. Anyway, my delicious little babies, see how they flipping stung everybody, my delicious little babies, you know what I mean. They've been doing this long time anyway. Now then, so no, before I go up there, come down here. So the next one, my delicious little baby, is well worth listening to that though. Okay, should anybody have any form of an interest to do with universities and so forth, okay? You found it's most enlightening. Okay, my delicious little babies. Now then, I don't know if ones ever remember, okay? I mentioned this, was it a couple of years ago? Well, he's now up to, my delicious little babies, okay? 3.58 million. Look at that, my delicious little babies, 3.58 million. Okay, and this one is called capital A space capital C chick, as in little chicks. Okay, space capital C called, and then space capital A Albert. Now, for anybody who's been listening to my videos and Thank you, thank you, and thank you. How I love you so, for any views, for any likes, for the occasional comments, but anybody who's been listening to myself will really virtually from the get-go, okay? You will know what I was talking about here. And this is a chick called Albert. Now, this little chick called Albert never came back up on my feed. It's when I was looking, and I thought, gosh, yes, I remember that. I'm so pleased that his numbers have gone up the way that they have, and that the also that ones are helping him so that he can help all these beautiful different types of birdies, and everything. Do you know what I mean? He's just such not in that way, a wonderful dear soul. If there were more out there who are like this dear man, I know that there are lots of wonderful animal lovers and wildlife lovers. I know that, but you know what I mean? But it's just so, when I watch videos like this, my little babies, because everything's so serious with myself, because I do get too serious sometimes, so I just have to take a breather. You know what I mean? Mad little babies, okay? Because I can get rather flipping, there we are, damn well flipping annoyed and vexed and frustrated. Do you know what I mean? With the way that state of the world, because I know if I had my way, there we are, how things would rock and roll. There we are. Do you know what I mean? Mad little babies, so that we can restore, there we are, order. Okay? Somebody would call that, maybe dictating to others. No, I would just, there we are, put order back. There we are, where it should be. Okay, my delicious babies. Anyway, but as I will not be running the country, well, I wouldn't be able to do it. Would I, delicious babies? Okay, if you know what I'm saying. But I know exactly, there we are, what I would do. Do you see what I mean? Okay. But nevertheless, everybody would end up, there we are, living in peace, love and harmony. There we are, by the end of, what I would have, let's just say, when it was coming to completion, shall we say. Okay, Martin, little babies now then. So every now and again, I watch these type of videos, Martin, little babies, okay, because I just need that breather, and sometimes I have to remember to smile. Now, you may say to yourself, because, the thing is, I usually laugh more or less usually every day. There's always something I laugh at. Either I'm listening to a video or there's something that I found funny. Okay, I'm to listen to babies, okay? But what I'm saying is because I get too engrossed sometimes, okay? I forget to smile. Because, you're wanting, there we are, to put the world right, and you're wanting to make the world a better place. And that's where I become a bit too serious. Do you know what I mean? Okay, so sometimes I go and look at beautiful little birdie videos, squirrel videos, animal videos, which makes me smile, and and brings me back, if you know what I'm saying. Do you know what I'm saying, Martin, little babies, okay? Because when we hear about so much bad what's going on in the world all the time, you can really pee everybody off. Do you know what I mean, okay? Especially when we know that, if everything was another way and we're all living in peace, love and harmony, for many, there wouldn't even be uploading videos, Martin, little babies, because at the end of the day, you wouldn't have nothing to talk about, would you? Unless do you understand what I mean? So many wouldn't even be using, I would say, a lot of the technology. Anyway, that's just my thoughts anyway, Martin, little babies. Anyway, let's get back to the matter in hand. So this one here was from about 9 months ago, this video. And it's just over 11 minutes long, my delicious little babies can. And then it should read the title, "She hatched in my hands. Then I saw her legs. Amazing chick recovery." Okay, my delicious little babies, so I'm just going to repeat that again for you. She hatched in my hands. Then I saw her legs. Amazing chick recovery. Yes, my delicious little babies, so this dear man, he goes and rescues, then he receives different types of little eggs. But a lot of the time, he doesn't know what type of egg, so he doesn't know what little baby's going to hatch. Do you see? But this little one, when she was born, or he was born, oh, such a sweet little birdie. Well, they're all beautiful. Anyway, nature and animals and everything, creatures great and small. Well, the point of the matter is, Martha's baby, she had a problem with her legs. So her legs were going that way instead of going that way. Do you know what I mean? Mad little babies. So he got a piece of elastic band. He put a little hole in one side and a little hole in the other. And then he made it just small enough so that she could stand upright. Okay, mad little baby, so she could walk in a straight line. When you see her at the end, she's running and everything because he managed to get the little elastic band off, and then her legs were back to normal. And ones need to really, there we are, learn different things, don't they, mad little babies? You know what I mean? Instead of let's just say some of these things that happen in hospitals, mad little babies. You know what I mean? All these pins and needles and everything like that. Now then, sometimes it doesn't take that, does it? Mad little babies, do you follow me? Yes. Now then, mad little babies. So the next one, now I've never seen this one either. This upload happens to have 1.05 million subscribers on YouTube, mad little babies. Uploaders called capital D, Dylan, with a Y, not an I, space, capital P, Page, spell it for you, Page, because you can spell page a different way, can't you, with an I in it as well. So, it's a different one. So it's Dylan space Page. That's the upload of mad little babies. This video here, I think this is nearly 20 minutes long. Okay, mad little babies. And this should read, we need to talk about TikTok. Yeah, there's a lot going on to do with TikTok. And I mention it, sorry, excuse me again, mad little babies. So what's going on here? You're talking about, that doesn't mean no, colossal, massive creators, okay? See, a man here now, because he happens to love TikTok as well, he was happening on this video to talk to, through the dog and bone, or on the screen, computer screen, other large creators, from the TikTok and that. Okay, mad little babies. You see, it's like I said, okay, we get back to it again. But for anybody who's not seen your man here, okay, please take a listen, okay? He explains everything now because he's actually, there we are, spoken to TikTok himself. Okay, mad little babies. So, and then he knows another creator, massive creator, colossal, who also, I think, has spoken to TikTok as well. Okay, mad little babies. Well, you see, what's happening is, it's like I said before, there we are, and I'll repeat again. What they're doing, they're trying to boot out, okay, especially the ones that get millions and millions of views. Okay, mad little babies, because this is, to do with TikTok now. This is not good. Do you see what I'm saying, mad little babies? Well, of course, it's forcing others, there we are, just to leave. Okay, mad little babies. But of course, something else that could happen here is that when they realise, because what is it, America, born in the USA, that Ellison, whatever his bloody damn well name is, okay, he's taking it over. But I have a very strong feeling, mad little babies, okay, because you must remember that these here, the little lackeys, have had to use everybody else, so we are, to get information or to work out what mankind out here in the world, mad little babies, what everybody's thoughts are. Do you see? Mad little babies, okay? But I have a feeling here now then, there we are. It could very well backfire. There we are. Do you know what I mean? Mad little babies, okay? But by that time, maybe there could be another, this could swing another way as well. Maybe ones will start to, who's to say that ones maybe wouldn't get together and then make a one great big massive, you know what I'm saying, mad little babies, okay? So really, with everything what's going on, okay, especially, to censor things, because this is what this is about, okay? So, and what do they use? So they know that for ones who, it's all ding, ding, dong, dong common sense. So for anybody who's making ching, 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 change, pound, shilling, pence, dollars and change from the videos, okay? Well, they've been doing it as a full-time job role, okay? So the fact is, if they're not going to receive that anymore, because we live in a world with robbing bees now. Do you understand what I mean, Martin? Babies, okay? Well, in the end, they will go away into something else. But what I'm saying is that these here, all to do with their censoring. Okay, I don't mean this in literal terms. It's figure of speech, Martin. Babies, okay? They may just very well find, there we are, that they shoot themselves in the damn foot. Do you know what I mean? But this means, the way I see it is, it's really hard to explain, but I know what I'm talking about. Scare Martin Babies. This would leave, there we are, room for opportunity for something else. So you imagine you get those creators, Martin Babies, when these are the little lackeys only want ones to go to certain other platforms, like the likes of Tucker Carlson, the likes of, this kind of thing now. Andrew, what's his name? Not Andrew Jones. What's his flipping name? Alex Jones. Okay, my delicious babies. So these are wanting them to go to there, where everybody's got to follow the narrative, okay? But what about my delicious babies, okay? If I never, by the way, I never looked at no videos. I'm talking, this is in my noddle. What about if these creators get together? Do you see what I'm saying? So when they're doing this to censor, okay, this is leaving open opportunity for other business to be looked at. Do you see? There we are. Do you see what I mean, my delicious babies? Okay, do you follow me? So, in other words, you won't be getting the true news from the ones that they want you to get the true news from, but you get it for others. And if they join forces, okay, my delicious babies, and they open up there, do you see what I'm saying? Okay, do you see how this there we are can rock and roll? You see, this is my thoughts. This is how my noddle ding ding dong dong operates. Do you see what I mean? Okay. So, what I say is fair play to them if they get to do that. There we are. If they get to do that, fair play. Because I mean, come on, it won't take them long. There we are to build, a real good fan base. Will it, my delicious babies? But I cannot see any large, colossal creators staying on a channel if they're not going to get paid, because the whole point of them doing what they were doing, ding, ding, dong, dong, is to get paid, isn't it, my delicious babies? But you see what it is, these, you see, okay, it's, and not only that, but how they're also operating, which I know long time, with all this, you know what I mean? What they're doing is, my delicious babies, okay, is that they want the information, but they don't want to pay the ka-ching, ching, ching change. Do you see what I'm saying, Martin? Okay, but they might just very well, there we are, find themselves coming unstuck. There we are, and I feel that they are, there we are, that they are going to, okay, Martin babies. So I never need to watch nothing, because I can well assure you now, I haven't watched anything for me to say what I've just said to you. Okay, and I believe if there we are, if more and more did it, then they could have their side, okay, what they news and everything, what they give out, and then they can build up their own fan base. And then ones, if they're selling T-shirts or mugs or whatever, then of course, at the end of the day, their fan base then will keep them in pockets in their old skyrocket. Do you know what I mean, my delicious babies? Okay, so this could work. There we are, a different way. Do you see what I mean, my delicious babies? Okay, but one thing for sure, they're not being able to censor everybody, because let me tell you, the lid is truly well enough. Do you know what I mean, my delicious babies? Anyway, finally. And then I'm going to be over and out. Oh, by the way, I was listening to our lovely Not In That Way, our lovely trending on Iconic, which I listen to every day. But what I do is I switch to their Iconic. You just scroll down. I think they've got 13.5 or 13.8 thousand on YouTube now, my delicious babies, because it is our dear Gareth, with anybody not in that way, our dear Gareth Ike, our dear Jamie Ike, their friend Richard Willett, and we got our lovely, David Ike .com. Okay, my delicious babies, and I was listening, and this poor woman now, apparently, she'd been killed in Iran, You need to listen to it, Madelischlik Babies, on Iconic, or you can go on Trending on Iconic on YouTube. Okay, Madelischlik Babies. If you click on more, then scroll down, you'll see iconic.com. If you click on that, Madelischlik Babies, it will then, sorry, I don't need to stumble there, take you straight to Iconic. Okay, Madelischlik Babies. Anyway, fast forward. So, her face, a birth race, Madelischlik Babies. Imagine this now then, okay? Her birth race was on the news. I think it's some sort of Iranian channel, to say that she passed away. Well, she happened to be sat in a home, Madelischlik Babies, looking at the screen. And then she decides to go on social media, Madelischlik Babies, and say, you know, because it's in foreign, like, you know what I mean, in different language. Bless. Hello, I'm here. Can you see now, Madelischlik Babies? There we are, how this is unfolding. You see, so everything that they're doing now, but not only that, but how did they get her a birth dress, and why did they put a birth dress? We know why. Because they lie like giddy gog. And they've been doing it across the board for years. Do you know what I mean, Madelischlik Babies? Okay, they lie like giddy gog. You see? Well, this dear woman, bless her, because I know if it was myself, I would be vexed and angry. Do you know what I mean? To see my own birth race on the news when I'm alive and well. Do you see what I mean, Madelischlik Babies? So you can see why the poor woman would get peed off now, because anybody would. Do you know what I mean? Especially when you're alive and well and kicking. That's just a figure of speech, Madelischlik Babies. But they're making out on the news that she's passed away. That's really bad. There we are. That is really, really bad. Madelischlik Babies. Okay. You got your one set, which is what they're called, crisis actors, which they've had for years and years and years, Madelischlik Babies, which of course there are a lot who do not want to believe this, because it is better for ones not to hear or see. Do you know what I mean? Because of course, when you hear that, oh, this has happened, that has happened, and of course, naturally one's going to go, oh, this is terrible, this is terrible. So of course, it's going to make everybody feel miserable, and of course, this helps, you know, these because that's the type of clearly the type of energy that they lack. You know what I mean, Madelischlik Babies. But anyway, but I thought I'd tell it you, but have a listen, Madelischlik Babies, you know, and if you can, please subscribe. You know, to their Iconic or their Trending on Iconic, and they do have their own separate channels. Gareth space Ike, Jamie space Ike, Richard Willits. We've got our lovely, they're all lovely, not in that way, not in that way. Our lovely David space Ike on his channel, because he got his channel back as well, Madelischlik Babies, a while ago. And then, of course, with our lovely UK column as well, not in that way, not in that way, you know, and please subscribe to those as well, you know, if you can, if you want to hear about all the news, what's going on in the world, Madelischlik Babies, please and thank you. So, yeah, so that's to do with what I've just been saying earlier, to do with TikTok. Yeah, but well worth listening to that video. But like I said, for these, they're just going to be one-offs, okay, Madelischlik Babies, because as you just heard, I do advertise my regular, who I always, there we are, listen to. Okay, Madelischlik Babies, now finally. Wait till you listen to this one now. For some of you Madelischlik Babies, you may have heard about it. Me personally, I have not. What a flipping scam this was. Okay, Madelischlik Babies. So this uploader happens to have 47.2 thousand subscribers, Madelischlik Babies, and it is called Uploader on YouTube, capital C, crime, space, capital S, scene, space, capital C, chronicles. Okay, Madelischlik Babies. So I'm just going to repeat that again for you. Crime, scene, chronicles. That's on old YouTube, Madelischlik Babies, in the old space bar. And this video should read, I think this is about 20 minutes long, I think, Madelischlik Babies. I've not long watched it. It's just that I look at that many, I try to remember roughly, you know, how long each video was, Madelischlik Babies. I do know the one with dear Gareth Ark this morning on Trending on Iconic, but I always say thank you, put thank you and bright blessings to you all. And then I click on, you know, to go on Iconic, so I can listen to the whole of the video, Madelischlik Babies, okay? That was just over 34 minutes long. Anyway, Madelischlik Babies, this video should read the scam UK stores allow. Yes. Did you hear that, Martin? So I'm just going to repeat this again for you, okay? The scam UK stores allow. She never stole anything. Made 500,000, 500,000, basically. Okay, Martin, baby. So I'm just going to repeat this again for you. The scam UK stores allow. She never stole anything. Made 500k. Yeah. A monkey, 500,000. Martin, baby. So, well, that's what you call it. Well, 500 squids is a monkey. You know what I mean? My delicious little babies, okay? So, you know, what would that be? That'd be a number of monkey. You know, no, I don't mean that in the wrong way. You know what I mean? My delicious little babies. Anyway, the point is, what this woman did, okay, now, I've known this, but I'm going back decades ago. I do know about this scam, okay, my delicious little babies, except for who I... Put it this way, what I knew decades ago, okay, this was clothes only, my delicious little babies, okay, and I knew all about it. So anyway, I'm not saying no more. The point of the matter is, my delicious little babies, kind very expensive gear as well, my delicious little babies, anyway. But they did it a different way. Your woman here now, then, and she's a foreign woman. Okay, my delicious babies, okay. Anyway, it doesn't matter whether you're English, Irish, Scottish, Wales, Asian. It doesn't matter what nationality. The fact is, in this particular case, she's a foreign woman. So what she'd do, say if you're going to be a shoplifter, right? You'd either run in, grab the gear, or grab the things now, whatever you want to grab, and then shoot back out, isn't it? Yes, okay. This woman here now never did this. So she's not doing like or smashing windows or, you know, like what you've been seeing in London and things like this now then, or just going in with your calculator, adding everything up. I mean, flip me, is this for real? But there we are. We are in a backwards, bonkers, crackers and crazy world. It's an upside, there we are. Stumbled there artfully, so upside down world, isn't it, my delicious little babies? Anyway, she never did none of this. What she did, now you're talking, she was hitting all the major stores, which is everything, Marks and Spencer's, Monsoon, Boots, John Lewis, you name it, she went to them. Okay, my delicious babies. Now, she'd pick up anything from a £2 two ka-ching lip balm to, could be anything, the most expensive electric toothbrush or something like this. Then she'd walk up to the till and then she'd say that, you know, one of her family members, or I don't know, anyway, it was one of the family members, you know, which of course is all bullshit, that she doesn't have the receipt, but they're in hospital and everything like this, and could she have a refund? So she'd go to different cities, okay, so whereas most would get up in the morning and working 9 to 5, you know, or on the night shift, you know what I mean? Now, what she did was hire rental cars, my little babies, so she couldn't be tracked. Okay, my little babies, okay, so they couldn't just pin her down, you know, just figure of speech. And she was on what is it, £2,000? Was it £2,000 a day or something like this? Now then, okay, just doing that, but she kept a note of everywhere where she'd been. She'd never go to the same place twice, okay, and that's how she come to that amount. Anyway, long and short of it, my delicious baby, she got 10 years for it, 10 years. Okay, my delicious babies, but if you really look at it, I mean, and especially, you know, if you look at how this was done, it was actually, there we are, very cleverly done, okay? But I do know about this, except for decades ago, because I'm not going to say, but the point is, they used to do more of a different way. Okay, my delicious little babies, okay? So I never knew personally, I just knew about, anyway, what I knew. Okay, my delicious little babies, but the fact of the matter is that she never done none of that. She just knew, there we are, how to work the system. And of course, for the staff, there's nothing I could do. Okay, Mardelistic babies, do you see what I mean? And plus the fact that they do not want to be given, and it's Marks and Spencer's, any of them, they do not want to have a bad name on Trustpilot. You know what I mean? And even with that, that was hijacked. You'd have 5 stars and everything, when really, whatever it was not worth any stars at all. Do you see what I mean? So it's all to do with that as well, Mardelistic babies, but well worth listening to that video. Now then, so that's the end of my video. So we'll see how many hours this video takes to upload. Oh, just very lastly, Mardelistic babies, okay. There's been a little video circling, hasn't it? It's only about a few seconds long, or is it about 5 seconds long? It's with I happen to love little penguins. They're just so cute. There was loads who loved that film, didn't they, called Happy Feet. Okay, Mardelistic babies. I knew ones who really adored that film. Me personally, I wasn't really into, I prefer to look at the real nature, you know what I mean? Real penguins, But anyway, showing Trouble Trump, with his frumpy dumpy little penguin suit, and he's leading the other little penguins, you know what I mean? They're walking right behind him. Anyway, Mardelistic babies, it's rather amusing for a very shorty, super duper shorty little video, okay? Little clip. Okay, Mardelistic babies, anyway. It's just amusing, isn't it? You know what I mean? It's probably AI or something. Okay, Mardelistic babies, anyway. So wherever you are in the world, whether it's morning, afternoon, or evening, please have a super duper delicious time. You only get one life, my little honey bunnies. Sending peace, love, harmony, and bright blessings to each and every one of you. May your beautiful little selves, your beautiful little families, may you all be fully protected. How I love you, sir. You are super duper wonderful, super duper beautiful, super duper delicious, and I love you. And thank you once again for listening. Take care. Love ya. Goodbye.